My niece FaceTimed me upset, thinking that I knew and didn't tell her. And was like, did you know you were in the paper? And I was like, no. She was like, you're in the New Haven Independent. You're online and in the newspaper. I was like, what? Read it to me. And she read it to me. And I was just crying. Like, I just cannot believe it. The glowing review that we... Oh my gosh, Zach. Wow.
All right, that's rolling.
Rolling on the river. I'm sure you're wondering why I brought you here. I just wanted to tell you, Happy Leif Harrison Day.
Leif Harrison?
Yeah.
Who's Leif Harrison?
I don't know. I was on SpongeBob.
So,
yes,
we are here to talk about this album review that was written up by Brian Slattery.
I think it was November.
November? Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that as well.
Yeah. So I want to read this to you, and then
Okay.
we'll talk about the album and your ideas and
Yeah.
feelings and stuff inside the music.
Awesome.
Cool. Save me. I think I'm drowning, and yeah, I think that you want me to drown. In my own fears and in my own tears. New Haven-based musician Miles Tripp sings in the first section of Save Me off his first EP, Recovery. The harmony beneath him is dense, the beat bouncy and glitchy. Tripp has just finished singing his way through a series of twisting lines, dense with internal rhymes, phrases that turn on a dime. Then the beat runs off. The chords beneath Tripp get calmer, a little more lush. But Tripp's voice loses no urgency. I put your name on the altar. I told the father I quit. I gave your stuff to your mother. I sat for 3 hours at a CVS. All because you played the game while I stayed the same. Why'd you have to go and do this? Recovery is only 2 songs long, but emotionally it feels like an entire album thanks to a series of canny musical shifts across Save Me and the second song, 1,000 Ways. Interjection. It's 4 songs. This was preemptive.
Yes,
Yeah.
This was when we just released the first half, essentially. Yes. It was funny because the caption when I read the caption, it was like, Miles makes an album in 2 songs. I'm like, wait, there's more. But at the same time, I'm like, I almost sat back and I second guessed myself as well. And I was like, whoa, is this enough? Like, is this just enough? Does this make sense? Is this enough of we talked a lot about like a give and a take and like not so much a contradiction, but like if you say something about this topic, you should have something that counters it, or having a yin and a yang. Yeah. I think in music. So it was funny to see that he would say that this is already an album.
Yeah.
So it was nice. I was very flattered and very encouraged.
The songs together clock in at just under 6 minutes, but together they move from head-bobbing beats to a cappella to a slow jam that ends with a chorus of sustained electric guitar, a piercing organ, and layers of Tripp's overdub voice. And where Save Me tells a story of the narrator losing someone, 1,000 Ways casts Tripp as full-on jilted lover, angry, betrayed, and unrepentant in letting his emotions get the better of him.
See, I can think of 1,000 ways to hurt you.
The rawness in the lyrics works. It suggests that singing the song is catharsis, a way to get rid of feelings that might otherwise be put to more destructive ends. If he doesn't sing about the bad things he wants to do, he might actually do them, and he doesn't actually want to.
That's so true. It's so true because in the moment of like rage and writing, I was like, I have to put this down. Writing is my outlet. So I need to be able to do that. It's also my closure in a lot of situations or in a lot of the dealings of like relationships that I've been in and stuff like that. Anytime that I didn't necessarily get the appropriate closure that was necessary for me, I had to write my own closure. And that's literally it. It was like, if I didn't write about this, you would have saw me in the news somewhere. Like probably, because I couldn't get the closure that I thought I had at least deserved, So that was very much, he's right on the money, between Save Me feeling like that lover that's like, we're kind of going through something, to I can think of 1,000 ways, now I'm pissed. Yeah, my intuition was right. You were going to let me down and you did, and now I'm upset about it. And now I can think of 1,000 ways to kill you. Or leave you, or love you, or be with you, or anything, or to stay.
I remember when this review came out and you saying how it was like he was in the room with you
Yes.
while we were making the music.
Yes, it felt like he was sitting in the room with us because I am so big, I'm a perfectionist, so I'm really big on nailing what I want my audience to feel.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's what I want. I want it to be direct and straightforward. And so having that as my, nail and hammer helped a lot. And it felt like he was in the room because he was just saying all of my feelings, like all the feels. He was literally saying it. And it made me feel so good and accomplished because that means that I succeeded in my task.
Yeah.
I feel like.
I think so.
And I think that, again, thank you because I think that musically it wouldn't have come to life the way that it did had you not been a part of this.
Yeah. It's really nice to get the validation. 'Cause,
Yes.
really the life of a musician is coming up with ideas by yourself. And
Yeah.
honing them and shaping them and working them out.
Exactly.
When
And-
people reflect what you were going for back
Yes.
on you, that's
Yeah.
cool. It's a good feeling.
And people don't understand that as artists, it's a very vulnerable position that you put yourself in. And I always say Erykah Badu's famous lines, keep in mind I'm an artist and I am sensitive about my shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that is the epitome of my artistry. Like, I am not bringing you anything that I wouldn't be proud of to put my name on, So when I'm presenting it to you, I'm presenting you something that is polished but from my heart, in a way that I would want you to be able to receive it. So it was so nice, and it still is nice to have such a raving review and someone who sat there and actually listened to the words.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful.
The production by Zach Bassage matches the material. It's lo-fi in just the right way, lending the songs immediacy and intimacy. It gives Tripp an edge to his voice that heightens the emotion. If the songs weren't written quickly, with a rush of emotion, they come across that way. The intensity of feeling makes Recovery a bracing listen, 6 minutes that feel in a good way like a much longer emotional journey. But perhaps the best detail of many is the organ keeping time at the end of 1,000 Ways. As Tripp turns his croon into something more anguished and the electric guitar winds down, the chords the organ is playing first feel definitive, then they begin to head off in another direction before they're abruptly cut off. It suggests that there's more to come. Maybe soon. Let's hope.
Yes, and that soon came.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there was more. I think that the one thing I would want everyone to take away from Recovery is that after a fall, you can get back up. And it's not even so much the getting up, it's the continuing on after you get up, that actual recovery process. And I feel like Recovery in itself is literally just 4 songs that describe 4 stages of like a relationship. Like when you're a rocky relationship, I should say, when you're feeling like you need to be saved, and then you can think of 1,000 ways, and then you thought of the 1,000 ways, and out of those 1,000 you've come up with the decision to leave. So here's my 1-note samba to you, goodbye. And then your willow tree, you need to grow, you need to mature, you need to love on yourself, and keep on going. So I think that Recovery in itself is the 4 stages of a rocky relationship, but also I think that it explains growth. I think that it's like the rainbow after the storm. It's like telling you that there is growth to come, especially Willow Tree, I feel like, is that rainbow.
I have nothing more to add.
I don't either, except for go get it.
Yeah.
Recovery. This man.
There's more to
produced
come.
it. There's more to come. Neo is out now.
Cool.
Got my key now. Oh no, 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 no. Oh no.
You ever have buttered crackers?
Stop. I have gone through boxes. It's not safe. No, no. Wow.
Yeah. So it can,
This can really go. Oh, I'm quiet. Wow.
We can mess around with it. The routing on it, I can show you, like, I've been taking some of your vocal tracks and running it back through that.
Really?
Yeah, to
Ooh.
add, like, it's very subtle, but
Mhm.
it's pretty cool.
Ooh.
I'll play you
For falling for you. For falling for you. For falling for you. For falling for you. I went too hard. Hell yeah.
So that's like taking these two. And when you add that in there, you hear it? Yeah, it's a little
Wow,
bit.
it's different. Yeah, I can hear.
Inside of you, every little thing you wanna do. Oh, willow, yeah. Oh, willow. Grow, willow, grow. Come on and 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 grow.
This is Queen Audubon.
People together. There we go.
Yes.
This is the woman behind it all, I would like to say.
Aw.
Did you ever imagine that this would happen?
What do you mean by this?
Is our, I guess, recovery, this whole process. I never thought, I guess, coming into this, that we would, after in turn, be partners.
Yes.
You know, it's so funny.
Yeah, tell me about how that happened.
It started at your party over the
Yeah.
summer. He
Nice.
had like
Even better.
all of like the counselors at your
Yeah.
house. It was like one night. He has a second bedroom, but he was like, "Do you guys want to see my studio?" We were like, "What? Your
Music
studio?
room.
Your music room? Yeah,
Yeah.
your music room." He just showed everyone, and then we all were like in there jamming out, having such a great time in the room. And the next thing I know, it's like I'm over there again, and we're like
Right.
writing, and he's playing me music, and I'm like singing him my songs, and the next thing we know, we've got something.
I love that. So I'm just glad I saw, the independent article.
Yes.
How you guys were doing it, and I was like, I love everything about this. So I was like, I know how these guys what? I don't like the
Yes.
But that is, I mean, I think you can look at something like Audubon's or anything like that that's sort of like time limited. You
Yeah.
can just look at it as a thing in and of itself and do a good job, which is great. That's a great goal, but I know I definitely am interested in like, okay, how can we go beyond this? How can we make this, where something like this happens? Or
Yeah.
like last year, Fen did a reading of a musical, and there were a bunch of like other counselors and stuff were in it. And, you like
that's
multiple people
amazing.
met
Yes.
there, like
Yeah.
that
Okay.
kind of stuff, so that it's something that can go
Yes.
beyond.
It's like we are a true testament, I feel, of what we talked about at Audubon, about coming together, and like you never know who does what because we're all working, so it's like once we're outside of that mode, it's like this is what I really do,
Right,
you know?
exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's just
Yeah.
it's so nice to
Yeah.
have been able to crack that shell, really, I feel like, because we did not talk. We like it was just like a high and by because we weren't even what color
Gold group.
Yeah, you were gold and I was theater.
You're very sweet. The Gold Group counselors are very sweet.
I can think of 1,000 ways to stay here, but ooh, I'm so tired, so weak and so oh no, oh no, oh no, no. Over and over again, I try to burn your memory, but all you do is stick to me. Over and over again, we find ourselves in this predicament, and baby, I'm so sick of it. So sick and tired of it. No.
Nothing. I woke up today, and I'm alive. And listen to the music as well. Trying to get that in my bones and in my body. While doing that, I was like thinking about the music, and then I was like, wait a second. How in the world, or what in the world, can we bring to that coffee set? It's so tiny.
Yeah.
It's so tiny. And there's no set stage, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just wondering, what will we be able to bring, if anything, or like what can we use, what should we use, you know, like where will we be standing? And I know that these are all questions that will come later, but I must say they are questions that are in my head right now. Zach, what would you say was the hardest part of recording? Of our escapades.
Give me a few seconds to think about it.
Okay. The hardest part for me initially was getting those damn save me's right.
Okay.
I'm not even joking. I am not joking, because I'm just so used to, you know, theater and musical theater and just like singing in general. It's like, stay on that 2 and that 4. Stay on that 2 and that 4. Don't leave that. Don't stray.
Yeah.
And even if you do, you know, you can hit that 1 and 3 occasionally. But this was like 2.5. And like 4 3/4. So it was really, that was different. But I love a challenge like that, because now I'm singing it and I find no fault. It's like, it's just easy now. You know?
It becomes like a natural.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the new challenges that I faced was figuring out how to really like accompany a singer.
Wow. I think
Which I don't know if I totally succeeded. I think like when I go back and listen to some of it, sometimes I'm like, I could have done that differently, but I'm still happy with it. It's just like
I am.
I take some stuff away from it and like can tweak this a little bit.
I was doing the same thing vocally. I mean, this is just funny because this is everything that we say about ourselves too, because it's just like you and the music and then me with the vocals, and it's just like, for me, I do the same thing, and I am just so, I've never been so eager to perform my own music live than I am now, because I want to do this live. Like, it's my heartbeat. Like, I want to do this live. And I was just singing to myself, and I was just like, wow, the difference already. It's just like, it was like night and day. And I'm very excited about that. Because you have your artists that are better live performers than they are like the recording artists. And then you have others that are better recording artists than they are live. You know, there are like, okay, for example, everyone loves Rihanna recorded. But for years, no one liked, you know, like her live for some reason. Like, it just wasn't what the audience wanted. And I find that as a struggle with like other artists too. That is that hard part of trying to figure out whether I sound best and belong as a recording artist, or whether I'm more of like a live artist, you know?
It's hard too, because like, you never know what audience expectations are.
You never know.
And like, some people are all about, they want it exactly like the recording. But like, sometimes the recording is hard to duplicate live. Like, there's no way to really capture everything. So
it does make it really hard. And one thing I was thinking about as well was just the idea that performing, like, I can only speak for art, music, but performing that and doing it live is so, I feel like it adds a whole nother layer to the story, because it's gonna be, I'll be reliving that story every time, you know what I'm saying, that I perform it. And so it's just like, to do that live and organically every time, for me as the artist, singer, and the actor deep down in me, that is like so much better. Like, I love that. I love that, being able to, because it's like every night, we always say that in theater, each night should be different. No
Yeah,
night should
yeah.
be the same.
Okay.
And it's the same way with singing. It's like no two things will be the same. What people hear me do on the album or in the EP, it's not, they will not hear that live. There may
Yeah.
be some things that I touch on, you know, or that we'll do, but everything is always going to be new. It's
Yeah.
always going to be new because I feel like the audience should be engulfed and immersed in this experience just like I was. I honestly want the audience to feel the same thing that I felt every time. Like, I want them to feel like, whoa, something may not be right. Maybe someone should save me. And then I want them to be like, no, yeah, that guy was a jerk. Yeah. Or, no, I did hate her. You're right.
Yeah.
I can think of 1,000 ways. I thought of 1,000 ways. Some people might even be like, I did do it. I actually did it.
Yeah.
And then I just want them to go on this journey and this experience with us.
So what's your plan? Are you planning on making obviously more music to add to the set?
More,
Or your old stuff
yes,
just happened to-
yes. January, there's a new single coming. January.
You stare the neon
We've got some music that we will be working on, and we're gonna throw some standards in there too. Some
Yeah, we can do
fun
whatever.
things.
One for you, one for me. A song for them, and then a song
Yes,
for you.
exactly. So that's exactly what I want, and we want it to do. Really, is just to make sure that everyone will be involved. That one guy or woman that walks in off the street, she should be able to bop and snap her fingers too. You know, just like everyone else. I feel like so. I think we'll do some pop numbers and some things just to keep everybody involved and engaged. There's a singer who I really love, LaShawn Pace. She's a gospel singer, and her dad has this saying, don't make them happy twice. Happy to see you get up and happy to see you sit down. So I don't want to make them happy twice. Happy once, leave them wanting more. Yeah, that's what we want to do. So hopefully we can succeed.
Incredible. I'm sure you will.
I am experimental soul, and like these are just things I love, and so
How does the church, I guess maybe you shouldn't generalize that big, but like, what's a general perspective from the church of like secular music?
you know, it was really
Especially when the church is such a big like part of your musical life, right? Like,
yes. So there was a time where, you know, that just wasn't a thing.
yeah.
Secular music and the church, we really didn't combine or I guess coexist.
Yeah.
And still to this day, it's not the same. It's not perfect. I think that the church has developed an appreciation for it. But my thing with the church is just that I cannot be confined to four walls. I
Okay.
need to be able to share my story exactly how I feel. So I feel like there's Save Me and Willow Tree could potentially be performed at like a youth service or something, probably.
Yeah.
Definitely Willow Tree. I cannot walk into church talking about 1,000 ways. I can't. I just cannot. And I can't give a one-note samba in church.
Yeah.
However, I do feel like I was given the ability to express myself. Like my curse words or, you know, all of that kind of stuff. It's just an extension of my emotional mindset or an extension of how I actually feel. If I feel a fuck in my mind, I'm going to say it. And the only reason why I want to say it is because I feel like that's how I am genuinely feeling, you know? So
Yeah.
I don't feel like as an artist, this is another thing going back to what makes an excellent artist, you cannot stifle emotion based off of your audience. The audience that is there, they knew that they were coming to see something or expect something. And if they haven't or if they didn't, then they sure enough are in for a serene treat, I must say. So I guess now the church for me is a place that I'm able to go to, still enjoy myself. But as far as my music goes, I hope that one day we can connect, because in the midst of, like, my recovery is a testimony. I'm not even joking. Because there are plenty of times where I was just like, I could just end this, or I'm losing my mind. I'm going crazy. And I feel like recovery for me was my ability to say, it's okay. I can heal from this. There's no church person that's just like, oh no, I don't swear, or I have not slipped up. Everybody has. And if you went through the same thing that I went through, I don't even know that half of you would be able to come out and successfully stand here and say that you were able to survive it. So I feel the same way. This is just, recovery is my testimony. When I was in college, first of all, everyone needs to go to college because it's going to test like everything that you know, and it's going to challenge everything that you thought you knew, and make you a better person. And so like with that, I was in college, I was in shows. Going to church on Sunday wasn't an option when you have rehearsal on Sunday or you're in tech weekend. Like, you're not doing that. That's not a thing. So I didn't go to church for like 4.5, 5 years. And I had to figure out, well, do I really have a relationship with God? Like, do I believe in something? Because church has just been my mindset and my everything forever. So outside of that, let's say no church necessary. What can someone say?
Still have that connection?
Yeah, can you still have that connection? Because hear me out, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But everyone, all the pastors and reverends that actually preach these messages are saying that you need something aside from church.
Yeah.
What is it? So like,
Would you say it's belief?
I believe that it is belief, and I also believe that what will cause your for you to actually have a relationship are the tests of life. And I feel like experience will make you believe to then have a relationship. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You need experience to believe in something that you've never seen in order to connect to have that relationship. Because if you experience on several different occasions that there is a greater joy or a greater mercy or a greater grace, you will experience that because you do know that it's present. And then after you experience it, it's like, oh gosh, I love this peace that I have, and I'm really loving this joy. You know what? Who is God? Who is he? Because I'm going to blame him for this. Like, you start thinking that way. And it's a change of your thought process.
Can I, you don't have to answer this.
Please.
But I'm going to ask a difficult question.
Okay. Rapid fire.
And I don't know if I'm phrasing it well.
Okay.
But religion, the church, maybe not the same thing. And then sexual orientation. How
am I living?
Yeah.
And all that good stuff.
How is this? Yeah.
So, you said living in my sexual orientation with the church, and you said one more. What was the other?
Religion.
Okay, religion.
They're not exactly the same.
No,
right?
they are not the same. Religion is the idea that everything is strict. Religion confines you. Religion is the box that keeps people claustrophobic and smothered. Okay, religion is what tells you there's no chewing gum in here. You need to pray at this time of the day, or you need to carry around that rosary. Like, this is what you do. This is how you do it. And if you practice this religion, you get to heaven.
Okay.
If you steadfast in this religion. Church is the idea of coming together as an entity, one body, and a unity, uniting under the same roof for the same cause of growing together, releasing what I like to call all that week's tension and everything, letting it all go. It's like church is your refresh button. Church is your recharge. I feel like in a lot of ways that gets you out of the last week. It successfully introduces you to the new week ahead. And that's why oftentimes there'll be not just Sunday service. There's like a Sunday, a midweek Wednesday, get you over that hump day, and then sometimes services happen on Friday nights as well, like to say, hey, you did make it through the week. You have a few more days until Sunday, but you're gonna make it. And so me and my sexual orientation, I woke up one day and I realized, what kind of God says that they love me says that I'm fearfully and wonderfully made in his own image. And also simultaneously tells me that I am loved beyond measure and I could do no wrong. And all of my sins, even in my wrong, are forgiven. How can you say that to me and still tell me I'm going to die and go to hell if I enjoy a man's company?
Yeah.
Or if I enjoy, you know what I'm saying? Like, what the hardest thing about it and what aggravates me with all of you church people is that you're not there and you don't know what we go through. No one has been there. No one was ever there on the countless evenings and nights that, like, I prayed the gay away. I prayed to, like, not be this way. And I prayed to, like, be straight. I've done it all. Yeah, there's no pill for it. There's no nothing for it, you know? So it's just like, how can you tell me what I innately feel is wrong? Like, how can you tell me what I'm attracted to and, like, all of my thoughts, expressions, and attitudes towards this one concept is wrong? I have a feeling, like, I had this in that process, of, like, going to school and not being able to go to church. I argued with God, like, almost every day, just for the simple fact that I was like, if you're all powerful and you are God, why are you placing this much responsibility in my hands without as much knowledge to knowing how to fix it?
Yeah.
You're holding me accountable and responsible for something that you say, or at least your people say. The same people that stand in the pulpit on Sunday, or the same people that will shake your hand and be your sister and brother in Christ. How can they say and do one thing, but then I'm damned for hell? I was just really so confused by that. I was just so confused.
I feel the same way.
Yeah, I was so confused, and it frustrated me so much because you have people preaching that, like, it's okay. Oh, he accepts you for who you are. Oh, but he won't accept that. Oh, God, no. No. Are you kidding me? Oh, God won't do that. No.
And that makes it like the God that they talk about, and they make them seem petty and human, right? Like
petty and human and so unattainable.
And no God would be like that.
No God would be like that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to let people know that it's okay to be human and have a relationship with God.
So, let me talk about this.
Yeah.
One of the reasons that I have some sort of connection to your music and working with you is because it's not just the talent. It's the things that go beyond that. You have, like, these important ideas and the way that you carry yourself in, like, existing in the world. These things are important beyond, like, being a good singer. And the ability to convey the message through singing. Your talent is like the bus, and everything that goes inside the bus are your ideas behind it, your beliefs, your openness, your, like, vulnerability. All of these things are inside that bus, and they're kind of like just you're taking stops here and there, and you're letting people out, and you're letting them see all these ideas.
Yeah.
And that's why, like,
wow,
that connection,
what a way to
I think,
capture
is so
that.
strong. Yeah.
Yes. Wow. Yes. Yeah. I would just add that little Einstein's theme song, because that's literally, we're going on a trip in our favorite rocket ship. Like, we're gonna see the world. Like, I'm gonna show you how I recovered through my music and like through that, and you're gonna get off the bus with a new knowledge.
Yeah.
You know, like, you're gonna get off the bus. I'm not taking you on this tour to just drop you, like, you're leaving with tidbits. You're leaving with, I'm not just giving you a brochure on the
music is more important than just the music.
Yes.
But it's attractive because of the way it sounds.
Yeah.
I'm kind of intrigued by the two of your relationship and, like, working relationship, friendship, but also, like, Zach, I know, like, you just released an album not too long ago.
Yes, he did.
And your themes seem to be kind of similar to a lot of Miles, if you, like, have any interest in talking about the recovery that you've gone through recently and how that influenced your music making, but then how that, you know, back to recovery and how it kind of feeds into the relationship you have with Miles and the music that you've created together.
I didn't plan on getting into this.
I didn't think so we don't have to right now, but it's just like so there, and it's just kind of amazing to see how that.
So, like, 2 years ago, I stopped drinking.
Okay.
And I think this is what you're talking about, right? Sort of. Yeah.
Whatever you, yeah.
I didn't like. I could see my own forecast because I grew up. My dad was an alcoholic until I was in 10th grade, and then he stopped drinking. And I just saw the forecast of like where my life was headed.
Yeah.
And when we moved here, there was a particularly difficult night with our roommate. It just all came to a head, and the next day I was just like, I'm done. I didn't want to do it anymore.
Wow.
I mean, I don't know how to verbalize it, because like the struggles I faced while I drank, I still face. It's not like all of my problems are gone, but
Right. Yes.
it's like the load is a little bit lighter.
It is a little lighter. It's like, I feel like when you subtract the main issue from the equation, you still need an answer. You just have to figure out what goes in place of what you subtracted,
Yeah.
in order to still get a successful outcome or something that logically makes sense. And I miss my best friend every day, you know, and I'm still healing. There are times where I want to call and I can't, you know. And also, yes, like, I still miss that relationship and things like that. But it's just like, you know what you have to subtract from the equation.
Yeah.
You just may not know what has to go in its place yet. And I think that a fun way to sum that up is like, you can never see it while you're in it. It's once you're out that I feel like you get a better view of what you were just dealing with.
Yeah, I feel like recovery like does a really good job or kind of identifying your transition and the phases that you had gone through, both of you too. I mean, it's no coincidence that you two have come together to create something based on recovery and dealing with something that had taken place in the recent past. But also, I'm wondering how your audience and the people that listen to and enjoy your music, who probably also have things that they're dealing with in their lives.
I just want everyone to like literally recover. It continues to happen, and there's like some parts of the process are gradual, others are instant satisfaction. So it's just like rolling with the punches. I think that is the beauty of recovering. Knowing that I'm going through yet again another shift, but this time I don't have to worry about where I'll be after, because I already know I'm going to be better than I was before.
There's no one-note samba. To you, you dirty black mamba. I put you first, and I was your thirst. So I'm not leaving till I tell you. Don't forget what we've been through. I needed love, sure enough did. We fit like a glove. So now you're trying to walk away. Oh, you throwing middle fingers up in my face. And right now I feel like a fool. Yeah, for falling for you. Consider this dead and done. I pulled the trigger with your daddy's gun. You didn't care, so I was just playing fair. Yeah. And to think I gave you all of me, silly old me, right down to every nook and cranny. I can't be a fool, hell no, for falling for